Worm Ohana, and other members of the community that are following along with us. Welcome. We're on the 4th feeding, those of us who started in September, the 3rd feeding for those of you who started on that October workshop. So the 3rd feeding video is already up there for you October guys. Go check it out. But we're now on our 4th feeding, and I'm not going to go into detail because, as I mentioned to you last time, you're going to have to use your own judgment from here on out, because all of us are different in the content of our food waste, how much we pre-process it by chopping it and so forth. You're going to use observation and common sense to tell you where you're going to go from here. And when I poked into my worm bin, I was kind of concerned because, gee, I weighed even 5 pounds last week, and it's just a big glob of goo. They haven't even started to go into it. Well, there's a few, but it's still kind of sitting there decomposing. So, gee, should I worry? No, you got to be a little ahead of them. Because when I look on my 2nd feeding side, where I was 2 weeks ago, I find, gee, there's nothing left. They went through all of it. So I'm going to be brave, even though I got a lot of goopy food in here, I'm going to be brave and give them another 4 or 5 pounds. I have some more lighter food in there this time, rather than those dense bananas. So I think I'll go for 5 pounds again. So again, look to see, check it out, and see if in 2 weeks, pretty much everything is gone. If there's a little bit of goopy food, that's fine. If not, be brave. Going to feed these guys, and they're going to respond by reproducing, making more worms to eat more and faster. So trust the process and trust your participation in the process. You kind of can't go wrong. You can always pull back if you're overfeeding a little, and you can always add more if you discover after a couple weeks you're underfeeding and they're going through it too fast. One thing I want to point out, I did notice people were giving things like corn cobs. Now, corn cobs are great, they love them, but it's going to take months for those to be decomposed. So if you still see that there's a lot of tough to decompose items in there, like corn cobs, you still need to feed them food that's available to them now, because those corn cobs won't disappear for a long time. So you'll soon figure out what things break down faster than others, but you always want to have available food to them, or food that will be available within the 2-week period that you're on that side. So, okay, I think by now you have it. Go from side to side, checking to see that the worms are processing the material. So that's the way it works. And I'm going to feed my guys later, and I'm going to assure all of you that the fruit flies and the roaches and the frogs and all the little critters that are showing up in your bin are supposed to be there. You thought you got a worm bin, but what you really got was a decomposer ecosystem. The breaking down of food waste and cellulose waste like cardboard and paper is a very, very complex process, and it takes a whole massive community of literally thousands of different critters, starting with the microscopic bacteria and fungi to the ones you see crawling around, to do this job. So it's not just the worms. The worms don't have any teeth or grinding mechanisms, so they're dependent on all the other decomposer organisms to break things down for them. And as soon as you set up a bin with nitrogen, carbon, moisture, and air, those critters are going to find you. They're professionals, and they show up on their own, and they are buzzing around your bin. And a lot of you, unfamiliar with the decomposer ecosystem, are sending me panicked emails. No worries, really. It'll all settle down soon. So everybody who comes aboard is invited. Don't worry about them. They're supposed to be there. And very soon this whole thing will be in balance, because we are caring for this bin to favor the comfort of the worms. The worms will become the dominant creature in here, and the rest of the guys will kind of go into balance. So don't worry right now, we're still in the early stages. By the 6th, 7th, 8th week, around in there, you're going to see a big change. So don't worry about the other critters. They're part of the FBI, fungus, bacteria, and invertebrates that come to help the worms do the job. So just enjoy the show, okay? No worries.